Welcome to today's Explainer. We are exploring a truly beautiful piece of literature today, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's famous poem, Haunted Houses. Now, whether you're an ICSE Class 10 student diving into this for your coursework, or just a focused learner who absolutely loves dissecting brilliant poetry, we're going to look at this classic text through a highly detailed, almost cinematic lens. We'll explore exactly how light, shadow, and memory work together to construct a completely unique atmosphere. So let's get right into it and set the scene.
Okay, let's dive into this. When you hear the phrase haunted house, your brain probably instantly goes to horror movies, right? I mean, you picture a crumbling building, jump scares, terrifying ghosts popping out, and just this overwhelming sense of danger. But what if a haunted house isn't actually scary at all? What if we've completely misunderstood the whole concept? Well, Longfellow starts his poem by totally turning this famous stereotype right on its head. He promises us a reality that is unexpected, profound, and honestly, incredibly comforting.
The reversal arc Longfellow uses here is just incredibly clear. On one side, we have that traditional trope we're also used to, the terrifying, pitch-black rooms filled with dangerous monsters. But then on the other side, we have Longfellow's vision. His version of a haunted house is calm, it's mysterious, it's filled with thoughtful memories. He creates an atmosphere that is reflective and peaceful rather than frightening. It's a total paradigm shift. Instead of a place you literally want to run screaming from, Longfellow is describing a place you might actually want to just sit down in and quietly observe. So the crucial point is how we define this word entirely. To be haunted, in this context, means to be filled with the enduring presence, memories, and history of former residents, rather than terrifying entities. I want you to think about your own home for a second. Think about the people who might have lived there before you, or just the spaces you've occupied over your own life. Under Longfellow's definition, your home is already haunted. It's holding a museum of unseen companionship. Every single room contains the quiet echoes of the people who have lived, laughed, and just existed within those walls. Section 1. A cinematic twilight approach. To really grasp Longfellow's vision, imagine we're a director guiding a cinematic camera journey. The scene begins in the quiet countryside, right at twilight. The sun is just barely setting. And as our camera moves gently forward, out of the soft mist rolling across the ground, this grand, old Victorian mansion emerges. Its weathered walls stand among these ancient oak trees, proudly showing the stories of the generations who once lived there. And as we draw closer, golden moonlight illuminates the landscape, revealing warmly glowing windows and creaking wooden doors that practically invite us to step inside. The visual aesthetics here are absolutely vital for setting the right emotional tone for this explainer. We are not talking about stark, scary darkness. We are talking about volumetric, golden moonlight that just bathes the entire landscape. The colors dominating the scene are soft blues, silvers, and rich golds, intentionally creating this wonderfully dreamlike mood. Paired with high-quality, ultra-realistic textures and beautiful rolling fog effects, the whole scene feels magical and deeply poetic, not terrifying in the slightest. It literally feels like stepping directly into a beautiful memory. Section 2. Gentle Spirits Among Us. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these physical, ultra-realistic interior details actually anchor the unseen, poetic atmosphere of the poem. Once inside, the mansion is beautifully decorated. We've got antique furniture, faded photographs, old books, and paintings. Notice the sensory details here. Dust particles lazily float through thick beams of moonlight coming in from the tall windows. There's a softly ticking grandfather clock in the distance, keeping time for no one in particular. A cool breeze passes through, making the curtains gently sway. These very tangible, realistic details give real weight to the magical, unseen world we're about to encounter. And within this beautifully detailed physical space, we find the inhabitants. Transparent, gentle spirits drift silently through the rooms, the staircases, libraries, and hallways. They move quietly among the living world, completely unseen by ordinary people. And I really want to emphasize this again. These entities are peaceful. They're kind. They represent the former residents whose presence just softly remains in the house throughout history. They aren't there to haunt the living in a scary way at all. They simply exist alongside us, sharing the exact same space, reflecting the poem's beautiful theme that invisible presences exist all around us. Section 3. Containers of Human Memory. And this brilliantly illustrates the real magic of Longfellow's concept. You see, time is not strictly linear in this mansion.
Imagine families from completely different historical periods appearing as ghostly memories all at once. In one corner, children from the distant past are playing. Nearby, maybe decades later in reality, parents are deep in conversation. And years after that, grandparents are sitting quietly near a glowing fireplace. These figures fade in and out like echoes of the past. The mansion brings all these different eras together, becoming this massive, beautiful symbol of human history, memory, and the unbroken connection between generations. Which brings us to the absolute core thematic takeaway from the poem. Houses are not only physical buildings, but also containers of experiences, emotions, and stories. A house is made of wood, brick, and glass, sure, but a home? A home is built out of the lives lived inside it. Every single structure we inhabit holds the enduring presence of generations. They catch and contain human emotion, keeping those stories safe and warm long after the physical people have moved on. Section 4. The enduring natural world. Just as the house remembers, the natural landscape frames and watches over this timeless human story. Picture it like we're sitting around a campfire sharing a quiet, ancient tale. Outside the mansion, the moonlight is shining down through slowly drifting clouds. Fireflies are sparkling like tiny little stars among the ancient trees. Up above, an owl watches silently from a branch. And down below, along the old stone pathways, climbing ivy clings to the walls, rustling gently as the night wind passes through. The natural world adds this layer of watchful mystery and thoughtfulness to the entire atmosphere. It's basically the perfect, quiet frame for a house full of gentle memories.
So, we arrive at our final thought for this explainer. If houses are indeed containers of memory, whose unseen stories will your own home hold generations from now? It completely changes how you walk through your own front door, doesn't it? The laughter you shared in the kitchen today, the quiet conversations in the living room tonight, well, according to Longfellow's timeless masterpiece, those moments never truly leave. They become part of the gentle, unseen fabric of the house itself. I hope this new perspective gives you something wonderful to think about today. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this brilliant poem and keep observing the amazing history hidden right in front of you.